What's up everyone, Drace here, finally back with another video after some time. We are back and we are going to be discussing the issue with SJWs and currently what's happening with Vic Mignogna. So, to give you some background, Vic Mignogna, he is the voice actor for Broly, voice actor for Crow from Ruby, and a couple other things you might know him from. He's been in the voice acting game for a while now. So, a woman named Jessie Pridemore, a SJW who's one of the main people accusing Vic of sexual harassment, saying he's a predator. So she made a post on Facebook, which I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out. I highly recommend you go check it out. So she basically tells a story about 10 years ago. She says she was raped by voice actor Todd Habercorn after a night of drink. Well, I should say her ex-husband told her she was raped after she told him the story, and he told her he was raped basically because of how it sounded. You know, they had some drinks. She woke up the next day in his hotel bed. Her pants were off and stuff like that. Now, take note, she didn't say it was Todd in her initial post because she said she was scared of what might happen. You know, he has pull in the anime industry, so she was really scared to come out and say. After she asked around, she asked some people, and they thought the same thing. You know, she probably got raped. But she continued to hang with him. She says she was, quote, too young to know what consent is. She's currently 33 years old, so 10 years ago that would make her 23, around that age. So at 23, you don't know what consent is? Yeah, at 17, I mean, I knew what consent was. I'm just saying. She does go on to say that she ends up going to the next convention Todd did, and apparently he treated her like garbage for the weekend. She goes on to say that people said she was obsessed with him, and she was mad that he didn't want to date her. Now, I mean, without any evidence and going strictly off her word of mouth, it kind of sounds like that. It kind of sounds like that could be the case. Sounds like you had a one-night stand, you wanted more, he didn't, so you got angry. And, now, you have a bigger reputation, so you're finally saying this. But I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to dismiss her totally. It could have happened. I mean, there's no evidence, but who knows? Anyways, so sometime later, she went to a convention to meet Vic, who she says she played nice with him because she knew him to be a rude and bad person. So as she was talking to him, a bunch of fans came out of nowhere to meet Vic. Now, Jessie was about to walk away when she says he grabbed her arm and would not let her leave. So then one of the fans talks about a series that Vic voice acted for, and Jessie didn't know that it was him voice acting because she said all his voices sound the same. So here's where it gets weird. And this is where the accusations start coming in. She says then that Vic put his hand on her neck, stroking it up towards her head, to the back of her head, tugging on her hair a little bit. Then he tells her, oh, I know why you like that series. It's because of blank. Yeah, she literally left that part blank. You can check the original post. She left it out blank. She didn't say what he truly said. So, I don't even know. What did he say? What are you implying? At this point, she says her friend who saw her and the whole thing happened came over and asked if she was okay and she needed to be removed from the situation. She says she didn't know how to respond. So all that happened in front of these fans that came up to him, and I'm sure the multiple people in a convention who are staring, looking at this voice actor, plus you're a cosplayer, and no one said anything. And I mean, your friend, that's it. Just your friend who thought it was weird came over. In a convention where, there's probably security. I mean, at the time, 10 years ago will be, 2009? And, yeah, there weren't, cameras and stuff like there are now, but there were still camcorders and, things like that. So you're telling me no one caught this on tape? No one saw this? I just find it funny that after Vic doing so successful with the new Broly movie that came out, this comes out of nowhere. Meanwhile, the guy Todd, his name's left out. I find it funny that you left Todd out and said one day I'll hopefully be strong enough to tell you who the other person was, who was Todd. Are you waiting for Todd to have some box office hit or, him doing really well in life so you can come out and say your story? Why wait? Why not just get everything off your chest now? You say you're scared because of his influence in the company, but Vic works with Funimation and on Dragon Ball, which is one of the biggest animes of all time. One would think his pool would be greater. Now, Todd came out, and Todd has receipts. Todd has got receipts, everyone. He came out with the messages from Jesse and him, and the things that were said about Vic from Jesse. Messages stated that Jesse wanted to mess around with Todd. Todd told her he wasn't looking to be a keepsake. He just wanted to be a toy right now. Implying that he just, he wanted to have fun. He wanted to hook up with people. To which her reply was, I want to be toyed with right now. Clearly stating from Jesse that she wanted to have sex with Todd. And these are recent messages, mind you. Messages after the alleged rape that happened to her. So why do you still want to mess around with your rapist? It makes no sense, honestly. Anyway, so then there are messages about Jesse going to a convention and having a lot of fun, messing with Vic and making jokes about his girlfriend. Then when Vic introduces his girlfriend to Jesse, she makes various cougar jokes and makes Vic very uncomfortable. Now, she says that she knew that he was uncomfortable, but she did not care. In the messages you can see, she tried to bash Vic because she swore he was secretly gay. I don't know if she has a problem with gay people by the way she was talking, but it kind of sounds like she does. Anyway, I also noticed she texts a lot of stuff, but Todd did not text that much. It's almost like when you're trying not to have a conversation with someone, but they keep on going and going and going. And I think the thing that annoys me the most is that Jesse has no evidence. We are solely going by word of mouth, and that's it. While Todd, on the other end, has physical proof that she came with sexual intention, and Vic, she has a grudge towards. Clearly, he has something against him. Now, the SJW community will say, oh, well, you had sex with someone while he was intoxicated. That's where it gets complicated, because technically they were both drunk and they hooked up. Which happens. I'm not defending whether if he raped her or not. I'm just saying that happens. People hook up after a night of drinks. And this is hard because do we believe someone solely off their words? Because if it's like that, then it could be argued that Todd was raped by her. And that's where the wave of hate comes in. The wave of hate and malice comes in because in society, a man could not be raped by a woman. It does, especially to SJWs, men can't be raped by a woman. How dare you even imply that that's a thing? Because had Todd sent the message saying that he wanted to be toyed with, that he wanted to hook up, SJWs would have been in his throat saying, well, if you said that, then you had sexual intentions from the start. And in reality, they were talking about, I think she asked him like if he's seeing anybody, and he said, nah, I'm not looking to be someone's keepsake. It's a double standard, though. You want me to believe someone who has no real evidence, who just came out of nowhere, to which SJWs will say, oh, well, there's this statistic, this amount of people keep quiet. And I get that. I honestly do. But he literally has evidence stating that she had sexual intent from him. And she says she didn't know what consent was at the time of 23 years old. You don't know what consent is? Seriously? For me, evidence is key. And to which people say, oh, well, if it was your daughter, if it was your sister, I would be there for them. I would be there for them, yes. But if I find out that they're sending messages with sexual intent, clearly want to have sex with someone who doesn't care about them, it wouldn't be wrong for me to have the thought that they might be lying. It just is what it is. So then even after Todd came out with this evidence, SJWs were still on him saying that it could be fabricated or they don't care about his evidence because he's still garbage. And even after this came out about Jesse hating on Vic and holding a grudge against him, SJWs were still with the hashtag #KickVic. But I think personally what boils my blood the most, though, is what Rooster Teeth and Funimation are doing about this. Because in my opinion, Rooster Teeth and Funimation are cowards. So Rooster Teeth fired Vic from the show RWBY. He was the character Crow because of these allegations led by SJWs. As a company, why drop a great voice actor for a beloved character all because of accusations that have no evidence behind them? Now you have cost someone a part of their livelihood because of words of people who have no evidence and blatantly hold a grudge against a man for no reason whatsoever. It just shows how the company has no backbone. It was an immature move and it will cost Rooster Teeth their reputation as a fair and trustworthy company. Now, Funimation at this time, I don't know if they move forward with letting Vic go, but if they do, I think I'll just give up on anything Funimation makes. I'll just boycott them, honestly, because if you're scared of people online making false accusations about one of your great voice actors, especially the voice actor for Broly, which was the highest grossing film of Dragon Ball ever. Yeah, I agree it's not a good look for the company, but if there's no physical hard evidence against Vic, what do you have to be scared of? You're just going to drop him in fear that something might come out? That shows the lack of trustworthiness and the expendability of your employees. God forbid Shaw Schemmel is accused of anything. But anyways, let's talk about Monica Riel. You might know her as the voice of Mira Jane from Fairy Tail, voice of Suyu from My Hero Academia, or more famously, the voice of Bulma from Dragon Ball. She came out and she is with SJWs. We're just gonna say that. She's been on a tweet-a-thon saying how she stands with these survivors, and it's so crazy to see someone she worked with for 20 years hurt people. Meanwhile, saying this without any evidence still. There's just people making accusations that can't be proven. She literally tweeted how innocent until proven guilty is only in the court. So he's guilty by accusation? That's literally what you're saying. You're saying he's guilty because someone accused him of something. So if I accuse you of rape, Monica, you are now a rapist. I accuse you, therefore you are guilty. We're not going to get any evidence out. You're guilty, and that's it. That's going by your logic. You claim to be woken up by these women coming out and speaking, yet you are so blinded by anything they say you can't see the fact that they may be lying. All I ask is for someone to bring me evidence showing the things that he did, showing me that he deserves to be put in jail. Yes, it is innocent until proven guilty, because if you had a son and this happened to him, are you telling me you would want him immediately prosecuted and labeled a predator with no evidence? I want you to think on that. I'll end the video with this. A quick short story after I tell my, what I think about everything. To me personally, it seems Jessie is trying to fabricate some lie because she holds a grudge against Vic and failed to mention Todd in the beginning because she wanted to hold his name in case he did good in life so she can ruin him later. Vic, if by some slim chance you're watching this, remember you are innocent until proven guilty, and I'll stand with you to prove your innocence because as of right now, I will not listen to the words of a social justice warrior with no evidence. But I'll tell you this, Vic. If you did these things, if you really sexually harassed those women, you are truly an evil man, and I can wish nothing but the worst for you, and you can rot in prison. Monica, you say you're a survivor, and I empathize with you. I truly do, but being a survivor, you should know better than to believe claims without any physical evidence. Sexual harassment and rape isn't a joke and shouldn't be taken lightly. So if these people are lying, then they are sick and deserve to be prosecuted for it. So while everyone tells their stories about sexual harassment, I'll tell you my story. Story about a close friend of mine who had a football scholarship and went to my college. There was this girl who, obviously we won't say her name, but nonetheless, she was in the same college as us. She met him at a party, got really friendly with the friend group. So when we all decided to go back to the dorm hall to chill, she decided to follow him to his room. See, he had an 8 a.m. in the morning, so he had to go to bed for it. She knocked on his door and he answered and she said, "Hey." He said, "What's up?" She said, "I really want to be with somebody tonight, if that's not too much to ask." He said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't. I have an 8 a.m. in the morning. It's an exam tomorrow. I need to study for it. I need to be up." So then she basically forced her way into his room. At this point, he's like, "Yo, listen, my roommate's sleeping. You need to go." She didn't want to have it. So then he threatened her and he said, "Hey, I'm going to call my RA." To which then she left. A couple days later, she spreads the lie that he gripped her up and sexually assaulted her and forced her to be in his room. Just because she said this, he lost his football scholarship, can never play football for a college, and was kicked out of the dorm hall. When multiple people, actually a good percentage of the people from the dorm hall, women included, knew she was lying. All this happened with no evidence to support her claims. Single-handedly, this girl ruined his football career, got him kicked out of a dorm hall over an accusation. This is why I don't believe in accusation with no background other than a person's own personal bias. SJWs always want to claim that they've been affected in the past and that's why they feel the way they feel. Well, now I'm telling you, I feel this way because of my past experiences and seeing this happen to my friend. Because the fact is, 9 times out of 10, if a girl lies about rape, even after the person did time and they release him, nothing happens to the girl. In which my honest opinion, if you lie about rape and that person did time, you should do the amount of time they did or more. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm open to talk. SJWs, if you want to go ahead and type below, go ahead and do that. I would love to have a conversation. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.